Hey, it's Minimalist Gourmet, and today I'm here to show you how to make the most delicious butter chicken. This is one of those dishes everyone seems to love and is an absolute staple at every Indian restaurant for good reason. You combine juicy chicken with a mix of phenomenal spices and seasonings, all rounded out in a tomato and cream curry. Best part is it's actually quite simple to make. You're going to be so impressed with this, so let's get crack-a-lackin'. To start things off, we need to cut up our chicken into 1 inch cubes. You can certainly use chicken breasts for this, but I'll be using thighs. And if you need it, I'll include a link below in the description on my video of how to debone chicken thighs. It's quick, simple, and saves you a few dollars over having the butcher do it for you. If you see any big chunks of fat like this, go ahead and remove that. A little bit of fat here and there really isn't a problem though. In a bowl, we're going to start our chicken on to marinade. First things first, of course, we need a little bit of garlic along with some chopped up ginger. Kashmiri chili powder. If you're using regular chili powder, cut the quantity by half. A touch of garam masala, a bit of cumin, and some Greek yogurt. You can use any yogurt you like as long as it's plain. Now, we just need to use our hands to massage all of this together and coat the chicken completely. I also forgot to add the salt, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now. You want to let this sit at room temperature for about half an hour, but you can put it into the fridge for up to 24 hours to marinate. And while it's marinating, let's go ahead and prep up the rest of our ingredients. Roughly chop your tomatoes into quarters or eighths. We'll roughly chop half an onion. Red or white will be fine. We need about a quarter cup of cilantro. Measure out some garlic and ginger, salt and pepper, garam masala, cumin, Kashmiri chili powder, and a few cashews. In a pot over medium-high heat, we're going to melt our butter and add a little bit of olive oil. Once it's nice and bubbling, we're going to start putting our chicken in a single layer so we can start browning it. I know you guys are curry us, so I always leave a written recipe in the description below. Make sure to check that out. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of these awesome recipes and terrible humor. After a few minutes of cooking here, our chicken is nicely seared on this first side, so we're going to go ahead and flip it over and repeat it on the second side to make sure that everything is nicely browned. Once your chicken looks like this and is nicely seared on its outside edges, we're going to go ahead and pull it off and put it onto a plate. It doesn't matter if it's 100% cooked at this point, that's okay. We're going to add just a touch more oil to the pan before adding in our onions and allowing them to saute for just a couple minutes. You know, as a digital nomad who moves around all the time, I'm always impressed at the dishes I can cook with such poorly equipped kitchens. It really does go to show you you don't need a whole lot to make delicious food. Our onions have been cooking for about 3 to 4 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and add in our garlic and ginger. This will cook for about 30 to 60 seconds. Our Kashmiri chili powder goes in. Again, if you're using regular chili powder, only use half as much. Got some cumin going in, a bit of garam masala, finished out by our salt and pepper, which of course our salt is going to stick because it's so humid where I live. Now stir this constantly for about 60 seconds while we toast the spices to bring out all of those wonderful flavors. And if you sing while you do this, you can call it curry oki. Our spices have been toasting for about a minute, so we're going to go ahead and toss in our roughly chopped tomatoes. The little bits that are stuck to the bottom of the pot are called a fond, and we need to deglaze or essentially break those off of the bottom of the pot with a little bit of water. So we're going to add about half a cup here and scrape the bottom very well to get all those little bits into the curry because fond is flavor. Our cashews go in, followed by a bit of honey or sugar. Since we're cooking with tomatoes, the sugar is going to help reduce the acid and help accentuate the natural sweetness of the tomatoes a little bit. Go ahead and reduce the heat down to medium and allow this to simmer for about 20 minutes. You're looking to completely break down your tomatoes, which you can help out by squashing it with the back of your spoon or use a potato masher. After simmering for about 15 minutes, my pot looked like this. I did use my spoon to break down the tomatoes manually a little bit, so that did help it along, but this is what you're looking for. Don't worry, it's going to be a little chunky with the skins and the cashews left in there. We're going to take care of that next. If you have an immersion blender, you can certainly use that. It works great, and then that way you don't have to take everything out of the pot. I don't have one of those, so I'm going to use my blender. You can also use a food processor. Simply load up all of the ingredients that we just cooked into your blender and take it for a spin until it's completely smooth. Do be a little careful. If your lid seals very well, this really hot liquid can create a little bit of pressure, so when you open it, it can create a pop. So just be careful. I'm going to return my blended curry back into the pot that I cooked it, and I want to thin mine out just a little bit, so I'm going to add a little bit of water. If you like a very thick curry, you can completely omit the water. You can also just add a little bit or a lot depending on how thick you like it. It's 100% up to you. And when we add our heavy cream, this will also thin out our curry a little bit. If you'd like, you can omit the heavy cream and replace it for an equal part of coconut milk. Guys, I can't tell you how amazing my house smells right now. I don't know why Glade doesn't make an air freshener smell like this. We're going to add a touch of butter. It is butter chicken after all, and return our seared chicken directly into the pot. Make sure to pour in all of those accumulated juices as well. You should reduce your heat down to medium low at this point, stir this very well, and allow it to gently simmer for an additional 6 to 8 minutes. After simmering for 8 minutes, you can go ahead and turn the heat off and add your cilantro. Go ahead and stir this in very well and let it sit for about 5 minutes to let all those flavors meld very nicely. It's very common and somewhat traditional to serve the entire pot to the table, but I'm going to go ahead and spoon mine out into a bowl. Now, when it comes to presentations, there are a few things we can do to make this taste a little better and look a whole lot nicer. When you order this in a restaurant, they will often ladle on just a little bit of extra heavy cream to the top. This will create a good contrast as well as a little extra creaminess. And for longtime viewers, you know I'm absolutely in love with cilantro, so I'm going to put on a few extra leaves to the top because I love that fresh burst of flavor right when you go to eat it. Of course, this wouldn't be a full experience, and we couldn't really enjoy this butter chicken as much if we didn't pair it with some fantastic naan. That's why you should check out this video right here, where I show you my recipe for how to make this delicious naan right at home. And now for the best part, well, at least for me, it's the best part, the taste test. My God, is this good? It's a little spicy, it's herbaceous, it's creamy, it has so much going for it, I could eat 7 bowls. Y'all need to put this on your list of things to make. Trust me, you absolutely won't be disappointed. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch y'all next week on the next episode of Minimalist Gourmet.